Hello everyone, so today I'm just going to be, hang on, okay I'm back. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour. This is a new table. As you can see, I got myself a new art setup. My chair creaks a lot less and it's a lot more comfy, and I forgot what sitting in a comfy chair is like. So one thing to note, because this table is on like wheels, and I wanted it to be so then I can move it out and like hoover under it, because my other desk was pretty much quite fixed and there wasn't enough space to maneuver it around. So this does sort of wobble a little bit more than my other desk did, so I'll try to be careful of that. Anyway, so it's sketchbook tour. So I did the front cover in a video a couple videos ago, months ago, a couple of months ago, maybe two, maybe one month ago. It doesn't really matter. So this sketchbook is exactly what a sketchbook should be. There's not many finished pieces in it as such. It was just me using new art supplies and swatches, and there's a lot of sketching in there. I can't remember if there's many finished pieces. So yeah, so this sketchbook also was a book that I drew in every day, not for a challenge, just because at that time my only hobby was listening to music and drawing in this sketchbook. Sometimes, you do other things like you read us, like you, sorry, like you read a book or something. For the whole couple of weeks, my whole hobby was just listening to music and drawing in this sketchbook non-stop. Anyway, so that was a long intro. I'm going to get on with it now because that was a lot of talking. Let's begin. So I hope you can see it. I'm trying to figure out, new table means new camera angles. So let me, yep, I think so. Right, so started on the 3rd of March. I don't know, I haven't written an end date yet. I don't know why. So so this paper was 165 and I thought it was 150. I believe that's what I thought it was. So I was very careful with watercolour until later on I learned it can actually take a lot more washes than I thought. Goodbye. I've got a window feeder. I've got on my and a bird just came to visit. So if you hear noises, it's just them coming to get some food. So anyway, so this was a line and wash in a fountain pen that is water soluble, and it's one of my favourite techniques to do. I think I did a short on this actually, and I just use the pen, do my sketching, and then add a wash on top with watercolour. And I did use some colouring pencils as well, and I like this one. It was the same technique, but I really loved how when I used the white pen, how much it popped against the green in the background. So here is I was replaying the Tomb Raider remasters. I was replaying them because at this time I was waiting to buy. I hadn't bought it yet. I was waiting to buy Chronicles, Last Revelation, and Angel of Darkness. So I did some sketches. So this is from the first game, when you go into when Laura finds out that dinosaurs aren't extinct, and then so she ends up in there learning some velociraptors as well. So that was just one of the buildings. That was just a tree that I thought looked good there because I wanted to fill the space in. This was from The Adventures of Lara Croft, which is number 3, and it's supposed to be Nevada. I tried to take it from location, but I kind of messed up the colours. I tried to do colouring pencils over the top to see if I could tone it down, and get some more details, but I didn't, so I wasn't very happy with that. Whereas this is her backpack. And I've said it often before, I don't tend to use colouring pencils just as themselves. I always tend to colour on top of watercolour, but for this was just completely just colouring pencils, and I was so happy with how it turned out, and I'm still really proud of it. And it was so much fun to work on. So this was when I was starting to get into swatches and try new art supplies. So I got this for my birthday. My nan bought me this huge set of gel pens because I love them, and it had so many different unique colours. It even had metallics. It was so pretty. So I did a mushroom, a toadstool, And then I tried to see what if I could do like a full landscape in gel pen, and this was one of my attempts, and I must try it again. It doesn't look that good, but you know. And then this was supposed to be in black pen like this illustration, but I just didn't get round to it, so I left it. And then this is obviously black pen. So it had been a while since I'd done just a black pen illustration, like a landscape, so I was a bit rusty. So this wasn't one of the best pieces I've ever done, but I still really liked it. The only thing I really disliked was this shadow. I was trying to make it look like the shadow of this tree, and it doesn't look like it at all. So here is me practicing with my colour pencils. So because I enjoyed drawing the backpack so much from the other page, I wanted to start seeing what my colouring pencils could do. So as you can see, I had the Faber-Castell here and then the Derwent down here, and I was just testing tones and different colours and playing around with them. And then I did a landscape with them. I think I used both types of colouring pencils. I think I used the Derwent and the Faber-Castell. I don't think that was just one of them. I think it was all of them. And as you can see, I basically tried to copy the pen one, but with colouring pencils. And then here we are. Here's my swatching. As you can see, these transferred over, but this is just my swatching page, so it doesn't matter. So there's the Faber-Castell polychromos, and there's the Derwent ones, and these are the gel pens. As you can see, these are sparkly ones. These are highlighter neon vibrant ones. Then you have some toned down ones, and then these ones are metallics. They're not super shiny, but I've only ever had your gold and your silver metallics, but like there's different like copper colours and some bronze and some pinky ones. So here is starting to test out what my paper could really do. So this is gouache. This is the Heya gouache. So is that, and this is just a black acrylic marker that I just thought would look cool to make these pop a bit more. On this side we have colouring pencils again, because I've become a bit obsessed with trying to figure out the colouring pencils. So these are some flowers. These are also colouring pencils. This is gouache. So the story behind this mystery beetle. I'm normally good at identifying insects. I'm quite knowledgeable in that respect, but this one baffled me because it was so tiny. It was really small, and it was on a bin, my bin, and it was really small, and it's had big spiny legs, and at first I thought maybe a frog hopper, but it was so tiny, and I painted it as accurately, and it did look like this, and I was baffled. I still am. I'm still trying to figure out what it was. So on this side we have just some ink and wash flowers that I did. The background came afterwards, and I kind of regret the background. I don't really think it goes with the blue that I use. I might have been better using a blue background, but I bought some new ink pads, so I was using them. This side is just some black paper with my acrylic pen markers. I wanted to see what they would do on black paper, and also, if you can just see here, I had a drawing underneath I didn't like, so it was also used to cover up. So same here, look. So these are just simple watercolour flowers, a little watercolour landscape, and these were quick and easy because they were just to make this look a little less messy. Ink dandelions, ink daisy, that's all I can say about that. Now, can I turn this around and still be in focus and make sure yeah. So here we go. This is just the same as the start of the sketchbook. My fountain pen, and then watercolour on top, and some colouring pencils. So I can do this. Is that correct? Is that in line? Oh, I can't tell. It's hard. It's hard to tell for me. I'm trying to look through my camera. So here, bit of a doodle page. So this was gel pen, my swallowtail butterfly. I really loved it at the time, although the wings aren't equal and I can't stop seeing it. I really loved it at the time, but as time has gone by, I'm a little less keen on it. I think I might redo it. Crayola Crayola pastels, the super tip pastel colours, doodle, just a messy doodle, Crayola super tip markers. What I did was I did a thin sketch of an outline of a fence, and then I used the Crayola markers around it so it looks like there's a white fence there, and then just some random flowers here. And it's a shame because the way I did it, I tried to do like a vase, like a glass vase here, if you can see that, and it's a bit strange place for me to put it because it mixes with the other piece of art. Flower doodle, Crayola super tips again. I think this was a YouTube short. I think I did this as a short. So again, some swatches at the top. More Crayola super tip markers, dandelions, and I did some bees. Quick and loose. These are my favourite way to paint bees. I do the same technique with watercolour and with my Crayolas, and it's just so fun to do. This side is just a landscape that I wanted to do with Crayola super tip markers. I don't know what to say about it because it's not my neatest landscape. It's a bit rough around the edges, but I don't hate it. So this side again, that was a doodle that I don't really like. This was, I can't remember what I was doing. I think it might have been, I wanted to see if my acrylic markers could blend, but I think I had, these were different brands, but I can't remember what I was doing. But I think these are different to each other, or unless that's gouache with pen on top, I don't know. On this side we have another little landscape with Crayola markers, and then a mushroom with Crayola markers. These are from some stencils that I bought from a kids set. It was like a child set of like stencils that had like fairies on it, but it was really, it had like 5 sets of stencils, and some of them I'd actually used. So these are a couple of ones that I liked. So that's watercolour painting stuck in. That's Crayola super tips. That's trying to do it. I don't like that. I don't like that sketch. So these two are thumbnailing, and I don't normally do thumbnailing a lot. I think I wanted to do a piece with this sort of colour tone. So that was my first idea, and then I sort of added a bit more on my second idea, and then I was going to do like a full, either a full page in this book or just like on proper watercolour paper and do like a big illustration, but again I never got around to it, and then just a pen one at the bottom. Oh, one of my favourite pages. So this, I can't remember, I don't know what type of fish this is. I remember when I went online to get a reference, I just typed in fish. So this is just fish. Anyways, this was done with Copics, and I really had to push those poor markers to the limit. They were running out. They were from a manga set I had bought when I first was obsessed with trying out Copics, because I know they're still a big brand, but a couple of years ago, like, they were really the in thing. I really wanted to try them, but they were so expensive. Not that they're any cheaper now, but I had a manga set, and it happened to be the colour of this fish, so I used them, but they were scratchy. I know you can get refills, but I'm not sure if I'd bother. So these are also the other markers as well. I think these were also Copics that I was trying to spread further as I could, and these are the twin markers that I have. These are, that's it, Deco Time. I couldn't think of it. Deco Time markers, and they're good enough for me, so I like them. So that was this, and then this is Crayola markers. Crayola markers with a acrylic marker background, and then just a pen drawing. And then we move on to the blank pages. I think I was going to stick something in here, you know, because the thing bled through, but bled through. I didn't. So this page was, so I took part in the plein air April on Cara, I say took part, I didn't get to the end. I don't really think I got halfway through, but this was a beautiful flower that I found on one of my walks that I really wanted to sketch. It was a beautiful, vibrant flower, and I wanted to paint it. So this is me brainstorming the best way to try and do it. And the sad part is I never did actually do a piece from that flower. So, but I was trying different techniques on what I could do. I think that's marker, watercolour. And then this is my first plein air April. As you can see, I've written it down there. I don't know the names of these flowers. I think they're parasite flowers. Basically, parasite flower kind of like sits in a hedge and then sucks like the nutrients from the ground or like the plant. But these have been in my hedge for 5 years. They're thriving, and so is my hedge. So I've left them there because the bees absolutely love them. So I thought I would paint them. Another blank page. So Crayola markers, but I was really proud of this bit. If you can see, what I've done is I did a gate at the very background, just back there. I've still got it in frame. Yes, I was really proud about how that looked. So again, there was supposed to be a big piece on this side of the page that was that, but I didn't do it. So this is where I figured out that this paper was actually stronger than I thought it was. So I did some watercolour paintings, and there's a lot of bamboo. There's a bamboo and lily pad themes with some gold and green going on here. So it sparkles. So I loved how the how the gold pen showed up on the black background. This one is on my channel as a sketchbook session, I believe. So yeah, I was just having fun, to be honest. I can't pick a favourite. I like how that looks. I love the bee. That's a stamp. I don't like that. That bit wasn't planned. So yeah, I don't know what to say about this page. I was just having fun and just doing whatever. Acrylic markers, Crayola Super Tips, and I was just comparing them. Again, my idea of thumbnailing a big Crayola piece that again I still haven't done. Whether I will do, I don't know. So these are just little landscapes that I thought might be cute. See, I love how the waterfall looks on this little sketch, but I underestimated how dark one of the grey Crayola Super Tip marker was, and I couldn't, no matter how much water I added, I couldn't get it to look less dark. So I don't like the rocks. Doodle page, just a messy doodle page, there's not much to say about it. So this was different techniques. So that was watercolour. That was watercolour, but with the fountain pen again that I did line and wash, and I was just comparing them on looks, just for fun. And that was just, I think this might be gouache that I just had left over on a palette. I didn't want to waste, so we just got a little doodle there. So this was going to be a sketchbook session. I'd recorded it and everything. I was going to do the voiceover, but I left it so long that I forgot kind of what I was doing at the time. So I'll just run you through this. So simple bug, gouache landscape, Crayola colouring pencils. Funnily enough, I found an old set that I didn't know I had. So I wanted to see how they did. Gouache again, but I did a white gel pen. So what I did was a joke. I always tend to do this. If my white pen doesn't work, I always say, oh, I bet it works if I scribble over my artwork. And it did. Normally I don't actually seriously do it on artwork that I care about, but I wasn't too fussed about this, so I just ended up doing it so it's got scribbles all over. So yeah. Crayola colouring pencils again, a watercolour, colouring pencils of a it's very like a glass-stained window kind of design on that butterfly, and then a little landscape, ink flowers, watercolour loose flowers. I think this was the first time I really wanted to test whether I could do a wet and wet technique, and it did okay, to be honest. Doodles, that went wrong. Another day for Cara, I was going to draw some daffodils because I'd seen tons on my walk, and I didn't like them. That was going to be, originally this was going to be my final piece, and then I finished the painting and I hated it. I don't hate it now, but I don't feel any love towards it either. Random bug, just filling up the space with a pen version. And then when I tried to do a field of them, I couldn't get it right. It just looks like a bunch of yellow dots. So yeah. Fountain pen and wash again. These are just simple doodles. I had some plant pots. My art supplies, my pen, the pen, and then my water. The gouache. It's the same flower that I wanted to do a piece for Cara that I never got round to, and did a gouache version. Some gouache practice down here. Very lackluster. The best way I can describe it. So for the first few weeks, I was drawing every day non-stop because it was fun for me. By the end of the sketchbook, I started to run out of ideas and get a sort of my creativity started to stagnate, I guess. And I've actually had trouble. I've only just started painting and drawing again recently because I had a stressful life got in the way. I had a stressful time with life. So, and that also ruined my mood to draw. So I think drawing every day kind of didn't help, and then life got in the way, and I was really, I don't know, it was art block, but it wasn't art block because I always find when I have art block, it tends to be like I want to draw, but I don't know what to draw, whereas this was like I wanted to draw, but I couldn't be bothered. Anyway, so back to my sketchbook after that little quick side story. So this is a insect box. So it's got, your insects, so it was just a drawing from life. I think it was supposed to be another plein air, but it never turned out that way. And then this was a plein air, just a little illustration of a flower I had in my garden. Yeah, so as you can see, my time and effort sort of was a bit shaky, kind of went downhill a little bit. A cup of coffee with a lovely cookie. I wasn't having a cookie at the time, I just wanted to draw one. And then my pen again, but with more details this time. Painting not on location, but painting a place. Again, that's the fountain pen and watercolor wash technique, and so is that. Spontaneous watercolor, and then I did some pen on top of the painting, and then the same again. Not on this side because this, like I said, by this time I was essentially, I think I burnt myself out. Again, a loose bee sitting on a flower. Very abstract. And then we have chickens. So again, this is still the pen and fountain pen and watercolor. So this was just that. This bit here is supposed to be the cockerel. I think it's a rooster for Americans. For us, it's cockerel. So that's supposed to be the cockerel, but it's not very defined, and I couldn't be bothered to define it. Random landscape, and then a bigger version of the cockerel. Another page I abandoned. It's very simple, sketchy pen doodles. Oh, I bought. Right, hang on a minute. Bought myself some new pens. I bought the Deco Time Aqua markers. I haven't really done a lot of work with them yet because, like I said, I haven't been really into actually doing any art recently, so I haven't tried to really use them yet. These are the Deco Time acrylic markers, but they have two sides, so there's 12 pens but 24 colours. Is that right? Yeah. hope so. My maths wasn't processing. And they have colours on each end, so they were really good. I was really enjoying them. And just a watercolour painting. So this is one of the first paintings I did recently, now that I'm slowly getting back into wanting to draw and paint again. So it's not fantastic, but it's just something that I meant to stick in here, but I just sort of placed it in here. And then nothing. And then we have nothing. So yeah, so that is this sketchbook tool. I have this one, but it's huge, so I don't think I'll be using it on my channel because my tripod isn't big enough for that. I did a front cover, and this is also going to be like a messy sketchbook. And then the next video that you'll see is me doing a watercolour painting while I talk, while I waffle about my sketchbook trauma. I say trauma, it wasn't that dramatic, but it felt dramatic at the time. So then I created this one. So this is my watercolour. It's a bit rough around the edges, but you know. And then I think I threw my other one somewhere else that I made. But anyway, you'll see that one in the next video. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you're still here, thanks for bearing with me talking. Have a good day. Bye.